I started tattooing when I was like 10 years old, so back and forth, with a homemade machine until like 18, 19. My wife bought me my first professional machine. So my whole life, that's all I knew how to do. I was involved with gangs and drugs and, selling drugs and, and being involved in things that I wasn't supposed to, which got me incarcerated. That's where I started to draw like envelopes and things that other inmates would use, like, writing poems for them along with like a drawing next to it so they can send it to their girlfriend, and they can say that I did it. So I was like, man, that made me money. So like, because my family couldn't take money to me. My wife had my kids, they were little, they were small. So finally, my time came when I was released. I was released out of jail, and I was like, man, I had nothing. I can't do anything. Like I look like a gang member. Like I'm brown. I'm Mexican. Like it's hard for me to get a job. It's like, what am I gonna do? But I had tattooing. I was, like I started tattooing when I was like 10 years old. So back and forth, with a homemade machine until like 18, 19. My wife bought me my first professional machine. So my whole life, that's all I knew how to do. So I started tattooing like different people from different neighborhoods. Some of them were like my enemies, were places where like I could have got killed, but they gave me a pass, where my art always got me through. Even when I was in jail. So I already knew like selling books and selling machines and selling that stuff, shop to shop. To me, it was a pride, It was like it wasn't degrading. Like finally, I found this shop. I had completely gave up, man. I was like, man, I'm not looking for no damn shop. I said I'm working for somebody. I'm gonna save my money, like because I had, just going everywhere. It was hard for me to get rent because like you have to have three times the amount, and I was barely working in Venice. So I couldn't have like three times, the amount of that they were asking for. Plus all the crazy loopholes that they were coming up with. So I found this place right in the corner. It was a barbershop. I was like, oh, I can work with it. Like it looked like a house, man. You would have came in here, it was like somebody's house. It was like chandeliers, all ass dusty chandeliers hanging, and like strip lights from like the 1970s. Like I was like, oh, this gotta go. They took everything out, and my brother and his wife, they're pastors. They came over here. They blessed the place and everything. And they're like, he can't be without no lights. He can't be without no cameras. So let's get him some cameras. Let's get him some lights. The next day, like they called one of the brothers, and he was here. Man, they hooked me up with the cameras, the lights. And to tell you the truth, man, like even being here in this community, it's been tricky. It's like we're here because the community wants us to be here. And we're good to everybody. Like so finally I got this place, and I was still working in Venice and coming over here. Like I would get out from Venice like around 8. As soon as the sun goes down, it gets cold over there. So they close the shops down. So I would come over here and start scraping the glass. Doing whatever I could. The floors or painting. I mean, there was times the saying where it says blood, sweat, and tears. Like well, it was mostly tears, bro. Like when I was here, like sometimes I was like by myself, and like you have all these people like, yeah, man, you get a shot. I know you hooked me up. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna help you. Man, nobody will come over here and help me. Nobody, like just my son sometimes. So finally, Mikey comes like a month later, because he left this other shop down the street. It was called South Bay Tattoo. He was working with some other friends. You know, so that's like another story from like my son. He's been tattooing for like 12 years, but he's been all over the country. Tattooing professionally. Like went to Mexico to. So he's killing it in the industry, you know. So I'm very proud of him. So just to have him as like my partner, like I'm the owner of the shop, but I feel like that he's the owner too, So it's a family business. Uh, yeah, man. So I got lucky. The owner of the shop is really cool. He doesn't give me any hassle. He doesn't come just barge in or comes whenever he wants. He has a thing in the back that's a little storage, and he asked me permission. Hey, it's okay if I go there? I go, of course, it's your spot. But he's so cool though. I got lucky, man. Like as far as like the shop owners, there's places where you go and they don't even like tattooing. They just rent it because you got the money or whatever. So I absolutely wanted like someone that was really cool with tattooing, that wasn't like judgmental or like later on they were gonna pull a fast one, because it happened before, where the owner is like, well, I don't like tattooing, this and that, or they want to raise the rent, so high that you can no longer stay there, or gentrify it, kind of, that's what people do, to kick people out or whatever. I don't want to use that word, but that's the thing that happens, it's going on everywhere, So since I started here in my own business and not working for someone, like having my own schedule, I know like I can give myself that kind of freedom, to not want to do everything myself, So right now I'm in the process of hiring more people, like having more events where I can do more art shows, more art events where I can bring the community, maybe the kids that are like struggling, that are like in danger of being in the streets, like being recruited by a gang or something. I'm working with some artists already, where we bring tattoo artists and then we bring kids, so they can work together, in a painting or something. Well, the artists work in their own painting and they work with their own painting also. But working together with the artists, you can kind of mentor them.
That's good.
You can kind of mentor them, So I want to bring that over here in Wilmington. Like I definitely, give God a praise, for everything I have, I just told myself, like no matter what I go through, I'm not gonna let myself go down. I'm gonna turn this around, and instead of letting it break me, I'm gonna let it make me.